Hello, thank you for joining Brady's Product Wire and Cable Identification. My name is Annerie Klassen. I'm the Territory Sales Manager for Brady in Cape Town, South Africa, and I've been with the company for 3 years. It's an unplugged Ethernet cable. Go and fix it. One of the 8 deadly lean wastes is time. Waste is typically caused by information gaps, employees not knowing the best way to get the job done. Instead, time is wasted searching, waiting, and retrieving and reworking. What do? We create and manufacture solutions that identifies and protects people, products, and places. Some of the products includes wire and cable identification solutions, safety signs, lockout tagout, sorbents for emergency spills, visual workplaces, general product identification, and people identification. What is the importance of professional labeling? In the electrical, telecom, and datacom industry, hundreds of thousands of cables are managed on a daily basis. An effective labeling system can make all the difference to your operations. There are two main questions we need to keep in mind. How much money are you and your team losing while trying to trace unidentified faulty cable? And how fast pressure builds on you when machinery, production lines, and services are impacted. What is a professional label? We have a research and development center where our scientists engineer labels to withstand harsh environments. The construction of a label is the combination of the liner, the adhesive, the substrate, and the top coat. This is a combination that provides performance and durability. This means the resistance against weathering, flames, chemicals, or higher temperatures. A label is available for every type of cable and component in multiple styles and sizes, but which label is the best one? The best material for your application depends on the environment it is exposed to, and keep in mind the various conditions that our wires, labels, and components face on a daily basis. Label materials and adhesives are made differently to stand up to a variety of challenges. Types of identification. Very well. We're now moving to the application. There are several wire and cable labels out there. I will take you through the most common applications that are compliant with specifications mentioned. Wraparound labels you can find with permanent or repositional adhesive. The self-laminating options with clear laminate are perfect when you are looking for abrasion resistance, as the text is encapsulated by a clear wraparound. This type of label is convenient to apply when our cables are already terminated and you need to place identification. Next, we have the tags. They do not have adhesive. These are usually tied to the cable with cable ties. One of the benefits is that you have a lot of space for data on the label, and they are tear resistant, solvent, and heat resistant. They can be used indoor and outdoors. Below, we have the flag labels. This label allows you to print on the front and the back. It's easy to fold around the wires, especially on smaller diameter wires like fiber cables. These can accommodate more legible data and allow you to handle wires and view labels without touching the wire. Next type of identification is a slide-on solution. You can use these when your cables are not yet attached and you do not want to use an adhesive label or a sleeve. A slide-on solution is a great alternative. The slide-on solution's position can be adjusted once the cables are terminated. Printable tags are inserted into the transparent rigid PVC carrier, which offers protection for your printed inserts. The special shape of the clip on the carrier allows it to adapt to various diameters. Below that, we have the component ID. In addition to a great number of wires and cables, electrical, telecom, and datacom installations also contain a large number of small, medium-sized components whose function or number can be identified for faster maintenance and follow-up operations. These include terminal blocks, patch panels, outlets, faceplates, and pretty much general identification. So before we jump right into lockout tagout, we will review some aspects of health and safety. Where does lockout tagout fit into your organization? There are three main reasons why organizations has to manage health and safety on site. They are moral, social, and economic. The moral reason relates to moral duty one person has to another. Many people are killed, injured, or made sick by their work. This is morally unacceptable, and society as a whole, we demand that people are safe while at work. The social or legal reason relates to the framework of laws locally and internationally. And finally, the economic reason relates to the fact that accidents and ill health do cost money. Both the employer and the employee have responsibilities to honor. The employer creates a safe workplace for all machinery, tools, and plant equipment used by the employees at work should be reasonably safe and without health risks. The greater risk involved, the greater the care that must be taken. Employees have a duty to provide appropriate training so that workers are aware of the hazards and risks. Employers should supervise workers to ensure that they are carrying out their work with minimal risk to themselves and to others. This does not mean that supervisors have to stand and watch the worker at all times. They have to provide adequate levels of supervision. Finally, an employer should ensure that all workers, supervisors, and managers are competent. What does that mean? That the person possesses the knowledge and is trained and has experience and is certified. Now, we like to say the door swings both ways. Workers also have responsibilities. They need to cooperate with the following procedures and rules set out by the employer. The workers are responsible of taking care of their own safety and other people who might be affected by the things they do or don't do. Workers must wear personal protective equipment and take good care of it. It's workers' responsibilities to report any situation that could be hazardous and any work-related accident and ill health. Before any job is carried out in a workplace, there needs to be a risk assessment. The objective is to ensure that hazards are eliminated or risks are minimized to prevent death or personal injuries, breaches of law which might lead to prosecution, and the direct and indirect costs that might follow from accidents. Hazards can be broadly classified as physical, chemical, biological, ergonomic, and physiological. Note that a hazard is something that causes harm. Workers, contractors, and visitors and members to the public must be considered in the risk assessment process. Evaluation of the risk and implementation of precautions should be introduced to either eliminate the hazards or create a safe place or a safe person. Once hazards have been identified through risk assessments, it's necessary to decide on the precautions needed to control these hazards to an acceptable level. This is the general hierarchy of control based on OSHA. If a hazard can be eliminated, then the risk created by that hazard disappears. For example, lifting equipment such as hoists and lifts can be used to completely eliminate manual handling. Substitution. Sometimes hazard can be eliminated. Sometimes a hazard can be achieved, but it's possible to substitute one hazard with another that creates less risk. Examples: a total enclosure of a process which generates dust is to prevent its escape. Acoustic enclosure of noisy machine is to reduce the noise exposure to those nearby. This step is important for us. Isolation is where we come into lockout tagout. Safety devices ensures physically that the equipment will not operate. Administrative tools are those that rely on procedures and behaviors such as safe systems of work to reduce exposure, provides instruction, training, and supervision. There are instances where none of the above control measures can be used, and there are times when some of them can, but the residual risk still remains. If this is the case, it may be necessary to use personal protective equipment. Many different types of PPE are available, such as ear defenders for noise, gloves to prevent contact with substances, eye protection against splashes of chemicals, and molten metals. This is just to name a few. When an accident occurs, there will be direct and indirect costs as a result of that. Some of these losses can be insured against many of them, and many of them can be uninsured. We would like to make use of the iceberg to show the true cost of accidents. What is lockout tagout? It means physically ensuring a machine is inoperable while repairs or adjustments are made with the use of padlock, tags, and suitable devices. Lockout tagout is an important safety practice that involves the de-energizing of electrical circuits, closing valves, neutralizing extreme temperatures, and securing moving parts to hazardous energy that isn't released while the equipment is being serviced. That way, employees can do their job while being safe. When does lockout tagout apply? There's a rule of thumb. This is when a machine guard is removed or bypassed and when an employee is required to place any part of his body into a danger zone. It applies when adjusting is needed, lubricating, inspecting construction, or unjamming. The implementation of lockout tagout. We believe that the best approach is to establish 6 essential elements and then use this to base continuously improving the program. The first step to lockout tagout success is developing and equipping energy control policy. This is important to take into account that international standards, relevant laws, and industry regulations are also requirements for the employees that ensure that they can understand and apply the program in their working environment. The program is not a one-time fix. It should be reviewed annually to ensure it stays up to date and to effectively protect employees. Creating lockout tagout programs should be collaborative effort on all levels within the organization. Secondly, write machine-specific procedures. It's important that lockout tagout procedures are formally documented. They should detail the specific steps necessary for shutting down, isolating, blocking, and securing equipment to control hazardous energy, as well as steps for the placement, removal, and transfer of lockout tagout tools. Going beyond compliance, we recommend creating best practice procedures that includes machine-specific photos that show the location of any energy isolation points. Thirdly, locate and identify all energy control points, including valves, switches, breakers, and plugs, with permanently placed and standardized labels. Fourth, training. Organizations need to train employees, communicate procedures, and conduct periodic inspections to ensure the program is running effectively. Training should include the way the company is organizing lockout tagout. Fifth, the next element of lockout tagout program is providing employees with the necessary devices to keep them safe. There are many products on the market, and selecting the most appropriate solution for the machine is the key to lockout tagout effectiveness. Sustainability, last but not the least, we recommend taking a continuous improvement approach to the lockout tagout program by consistently renewing it, reviewing it, and the customer is creating a safety culture that proactively addresses the safety of machine interventions. It allows the company to focus on maintaining a world-class lockout tagout program instead of starting from scratch each year. Now we can get you started with the physical isolation of energy points. Let's start with padlocks. It's important that we know the application so we may suggest the right padlock. Nylon padlocks are ideal for electrical appliances. They are non-conductive, lightweight, and which protects the life of your breaker, especially MCBs. We have various variations in size, colors, and shackle material. Color-coded padlocks can be interesting to identify which maintenance team is servicing a specific machine. They can be keyed different, keyed alike, and can be implemented with master and grandmaster keys, all in line with the lockout tagout policy. Next, we have our industrial harsh environment padlocks. Aluminium is excellent for outdoor use, especially in marine environments, as it's resistant to high temperatures and does not corrode. The security padlock is fully insulated, made out of nylon with solid aluminium core. On number 16, we have a steel lock. This is treated with rust protection, and the individual formed plates make it difficult to tamper with this lock. Finally, we have brass. This is for outdoor use and is excellent on flammable and explosive environments. It's also spark resistant. An important note is we do not suggest brass padlocks for electrical appliances as it's highly conductive. There are quite a few accessories out there. This depends on the size of them and the procedures you have in place. Lock boxes are interesting when larger groups of people or even various shifts are performing maintenance operations on the same equipment. We offer products available such as lock boards, kits, push buttons, individual pouches, and many different types of tags. On to the do-it-yourself range, the SFID printers can help with tag printing with isolation point identification and safety signage. If you are not sure what devices to use on your equipment, give us a call or drop us a message and we will be more than happy to come over. Take a look at the equipment and do a hands-on trial to ensure 100% fit on all of the accessories.